computer, boom, everything you say can now be held against you. Okay, so here we go. And me too. All right, so we're moving on into here. So onward and upward. So here we are, and we're talking about this. Today is September.
Professor, please. I had difficult put the TYP. I put, but I don't know if I did correct.
Okay, so you put it. You were able to put the notation in, but you don't know what it means, correct?
I put. I edited the quote.
Okay.
But I don't know if the best way.
Okay, all right. There's more than one way to do this right here. Let me show you right here. Okay, so the question is, how do I put in the text? So let me go back to here. Let me open AutoCAD. And can you see AutoCAD right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I did is I've been doing so much work this last week. Okay, anyway, so I've got this going on right here. And let me do this. Let me go ahead and let me open last week's work because I started to save this. And I'll go out to here and it should be out here on my desktop. Let me take a look here. I think I saved it all out here. Let me find out. Should be here. And let's see here. Let's see if it's there. Looks like it's not there. Okay, so that's no good. So let me see where would I save it. Looks like I didn't save it there. CIT 112. Okay, let me take a look here. I know I've got several different versions of it. So let me just take a quick look. Oh, that's looking for a template. That's why we don't want that. We want to look for a drawing, an AutoCAD drawing. So let's look for an AutoCAD drawing. There we go. So here we did this last week. So you got drawing A. So we look at drawing A. It looks like this. All right. Then I'm going to open another one. I'm going to go here and I'm going to open up over here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open to my desktop. I'm going to go ahead and open up right here. Come on, you. Drawing B and drawing C. We'll go to drawing D. All right, drawing D is one. Now, when you go to drawing D right here, this is what you're talking about, right? With this notation that says TYP.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, first of all, when you see that, now I'm going to talk a little bit about drafting in general, because a lot of you might be new to drafting. I know some of you, this is like completely, elementary and beyond elementary. I get that, but not everyone's in the same spot. So just be patient with me. All right, now when you see that, what's going on right now is everything that you'll see in a plan like this is actually going to be something that has to be measured. It has to have some kind of measurement on it. It has to be scaled, it has to have a dimension. And that's what you see right here. So what's happening right here is because if I were to go ahead and put in dimensions on everything, this is what would happen. So I'm just going to give you a quick idea here. If I were to do that, I would go, okay, well, I better dimension everything so my students know what to do here. All right, I'll just go ahead and keep on dimensioning everything so they know what to do here. All right, I just better keep on dimensioning so they know what to do here because I don't want them to not know what's going on. So I just better keep, okay, and you get the point. This is redundant and it would be cluttered if I did this, okay? So I don't do that, and you typically don't do that. So even though that would give you all the information you'd need, you'd have a hopelessly cluttered drawing. So therefore, we don't do it that way. Instead, what we do is we just give one dimension, one measurement, and then we say TYP, which means typical. All right. So the typical is saying, okay, anytime you see anything that's close to this, it is that. All right. That's what it's saying. Okay. That's what that's doing. And the same is true with these tabs down here. It's saying that this is TYP as well. So the goal of dimensioning, when you're dimensioning an object in anything, this is just general drafting standard, is that you don't put any more dimensions in than you have to. That means if a dimension can be arrived at by somebody looking at the drawing and maybe doing a subtraction even, then that's allowed. Okay, so therefore that's why there's so few dimensions on this. Now, to get the notation in here, what I would do is I'd double click on, so I put in, let me show you how I do this. So first of all, I'm going to change my layer to this, and I put in this right here. Let's say I was putting in a new one. I'll go here to here, and I'll pull this up. Looks like that, but it doesn't have the TYP. So I double click on it.
Yeah.
So when I double click on it, it does this. It actually highlights in purple, okay? So I double click on that, and it highlights in purple. Now, whenever you see it highlighted in purple, that means you are now able to edit that and put in information either in front of it or behind it. Has anybody seen this before in AutoCAD?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what you can do. Now, this is the way I do it. There's probably 30 ways to do this. So this is just the way I find to be easiest. So at that point, you're going to notice that the cursor is blinking in front of the number 1. Okay, I don't want the notation in front. I want it at the end. So I use my arrow key. I just use my arrow key. Now the cursor is behind it. So then I put in a space and I type in TYP and a period like that. Now when I'm done, you can either click on this green check mark here, or you can just click outside of the box right here. In most things in AutoCAD, you hit the enter key to end it, but you can't do that here because if I hit an enter key here, because it's text, it just keeps on giving me another line. Okay, so that, oh, you saw that. Okay, all right. So yeah, you don't do that. So that's how that works. So what you do instead is just click outside the text box, or you click on the green check mark. All right, if you do that, bada boom, bada bing, there you go. All right, that's how that looks. All right, so you've got that. So that's how you put that together. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Makes sense. I did the same, but I edited 1.52. I edited all.
Okay, all right. Oh, so you typed that in too. Okay, now here's the thing. Okay, now what she did, now let me point something out here because that's something that I understand why you did that, but that's not how you do it. Let me show you why. Okay, here's why. I'm going to go in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this lie to me right now. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to type in
Okay.
1.35. Okay, I just made this drawing lie to me. All right, and because it's a dimension, whoever would take a look at this and say, well, it's been dimensioned, it's got to be right. So that's why we don't do it that way. So when we double click on here, first of all, I'm going to clear, I'll show you how this works. I clear this out, get rid of all that. Okay, this is what you do. You just kind of erase it and start over. So you click there. And now if I double click on this again, the dimension's back there, and you double click on it, and it does this. And let me do this real quickly. You do this. And the item that is highlighted in purple, hang on. Okay, let me just double click.
A little bit, please.
Okay, I double click on there. It highlights in purple there. So the measurement, the true measurement, the true dimensioned distance shows up in purple. That's why you don't want to override that. So what you leave that alone. You leave that alone. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
I knew I did a mistake because I know it's a big mistake. Change the quote, edit the quote. I know.
Yeah. So even though you did it that way and you were careful to use the correct dimension, it could, if let's say you mistyped the number, it would then be wrong. And so therefore you let the dimension be true. All right. Let the dimension be true and every man a liar. So we'll go here, and then at the end of it, you go there. Okay. And we go ahead and do that. So you do that. Okay. That makes sense?
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's how you do it. So you just asked a great question. And so this is where you guys have had a chance to go in here and get your, get your arms into the steaming hot mess of this project and kind of figure out what these drawings are doing, what they're not doing. So now that we've done that, that was a great question, Gisandra. Thank you for asking that. I'm sure there's others who have the same question or had the same observation. All right, any other observations? Anything else that kind of came up that was maybe a trouble spot?
It wasn't really a trouble spot, but it's just the question.
Yeah.
Did you do a chamfer on the corners on the bottom right of that drawing?
Could you use a chamfer?
Yes.
Yeah, you sure could. And a chamfer, that we're going to be getting to that. Let me show you this real quickly. Let's say I've got this right here. Now this distance right here is 0.25 and 0.25 up and down. So here's what I could do. Let's say I had drawn this a little differently. And I drawn this like this. I had drawn this in such a way as to give you this. So if I had this line here, I would start here and I'd go over 0.25. And then I would go over here, 1.5. Then I close it like this. Okay, now at that point, it doesn't have the appearance that I want it to have, so I can use the chamfer command. Now this is something I'm going to show you guys later, but I'll just give you a little preview right now. The chamfer command, what it does is chamfering is when you actually want to take a right angle, a 90-degree angle, and you want to modify it so it looks like it's broken off. This would be, if you've ever worked with sheet metal, probably very few work with sheet metal. But if you've ever worked with sheet metal, what will happen is you'll use what's called a break. And you'll take the sheet metal and you'll put it in a machine and it'll break it. And when you break it, you actually get like a beveled edge. Okay, and the beveled edge is what you're after. Now, the chamfer command is located right up here. You got chamfer with fillet. So fillet and chamfer share the same location. So I go here and I go to chamfer. So I go to chamfer, and the chamfer is set right now. I've got distance 1 is 0.5 and distance 2 is 0.5. So it's already got a distance set in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click here. I'm going to change the distance. I'm going to make the distance 0.25 and 0.25. But it defaults the second one to be 0.25. So I can just hit my enter key. Now watch what happens here. Now it's asked me to select the line. So I'll click on this line here and this line here. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? All right. So you're actually able to do it this way. So then I'll go over here and repeat the chamfer. And I do the same thing over here. And I go there to there. And you do it that way. So the answer to your question, very long explanation, but yes, indeed you can. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay, Elijah, thank you. So you certainly could do that, and that would be a very sophisticated way of doing this project. So obviously you're a experienced user, so you know some stuff. So that's good. You can certainly do that. Okay, anyone else? Any other questions? Any other observations? And as we're getting into this right now, I just want to tell you this right now. I didn't tell you this last week because I wanted you to work on this, but I will accept your first assignments late. Okay? Why? Because I want you to do them. And I want you to start off on a good foot. So I will accept them a little bit late, okay? If they do come in, I'll take them, not a problem. I won't be, because I know some of you have not had your computer or whatever, so I'll cut you some slack. That's okay. So go ahead and bring them in. Won't penalize you right here, and we'll continue on through there. So just be at peace. Don't get stressed about this. My philosophy of this class right now is I'm a teacher. I want you guys to learn this stuff. And the reason why is because you're going to be using it. I tend to be a professional trainer. Okay. I tend to train professionally. So that whole thought of like student professor thing is something that I'm not on a power trip. I'm not trying to, I don't want you guys to feel like you have to do this or do that. At the same time, I want to extract out of you what you need to for your own self, so you can actually get these skills on your side and in your wheelhouse, so you're comfortable with doing these kind of things, because it's going to make you a better employee. It's going to make you more confident. That's what I want to do right here. So I want you to learn this stuff and feel comfortable with it. So that's where we're at right now. So we went over A, B, C, and D. Were there any other questions about any of those?
Yeah. Is there any way, if I already submitted it, can I go back and resubmit if I know that I didn't add something?
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, this has already happened a few times. Okay. And that's okay. I have the ability. I've got this. It's actually in Blackboard. It's kind of cool. I've got the grade center, and the grading center lets me go in there and gives me complete control over that. So if you turn in an assignment, it's locked in, but I can go in and unlock it because I have the key. So I kind of take the stairs up into the back of the tower with my rusty key, and I open the door and I release your assignment, figuratively. But anyway, that's what I do. And the thing is, so I'm actually able to go in there and basically clear any attempts. So if you have an assignment that you submitted, and after you submitted, it's like, I forgot whatever, just shoot me an email and tell me specifically what you need to have backed out or cleared, and I can go ahead and do that. So it's not a problem. So just simply send that to me. I'll clear it out and we'll take it from there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions about any of these assignments or AutoCAD in general? You've had a problem getting it installed, or once you installed it, why does it do this? Or, how do I get it to draw in a straight line? Or how do I get AutoCAD to find other information? Any questions like that at all? I have a tough time believing that my instruction has been that perfect, but that's okay. We'll continue on through here. And it's whenever people don't have questions, it's one of two things. Either everyone's afraid to ask a question, they don't really know, they don't know enough yet, or I've explained it perfectly. And I don't like to assume I've explained everything perfectly, but maybe I did. Okay, so you got that. So you got A, B, C, and D, and that's all good. So we did that. Now, moving on to the next thing, in the course curriculum, one of the things that I have put together here is what's due when. Okay, and when I put this what's due when this year, I go into here and I go into here. So what we did is today is September 2nd. Drawings A, B, C, and D were to be submitted as drawings in Blackboard. Now I had the question, that came up. How do I submit something in DWG format? Well, let me show you what that means. What that means is this: when you're working with AutoCAD, AutoCAD does this. Okay, so if I'm in, this is drawing A. Now I've got drawing A right here. Now you notice up here. Do you guys notice this right here? It says drawing 1.dwg. Do you guys see that? It says that there. Looks like I didn't. Yeah. Okay, so it says that. So I'm going to save that as drawing A. So I'll go here and go save as. I'll call it drawing A. All right, now, so I'll go ahead and call it drawing. Drawing A. And I'll type in TMB. I'll put in number 2 just so it's there. Okay, so I've got this right here. Now notice up here, it named it with DWG. What's the DWG? The DWG is a file extension. That's an identifier. It's like this. When you're working in AutoCAD format, or it's like it basically anytime you save a drawing in AutoCAD, it saves it with a DWG file extension. Now, let me explain what that means. It's like this. Have you ever been working on basically you needed to download an image from the internet? When you downloaded it, it comes down as a JPEG. Have you guys ever seen a JPEG?
Yes, sir.
A JPEG is a file extension. In other words, there's a lot of different kinds of files out there for graphics. There's JPEGs, there's TIFFs, there's bitmaps. You know, there's GIFs, there's all these out there. Now, therefore, the file extension is the indicator of what kind of file that is. Who knows what the file extension is of a Microsoft Word document?
I think it's like M-Word or something like that.
Doc.
It's actually doc. It's actually .doc. Okay, .doc actually, and the dot actually is part of the nomenclature. The dot is the separator from the name, so it's like you'll have the name dot and then what the file extension is. So DOC is the Microsoft Word file extension. Okay, does anyone know what the file extension is for an Excel spreadsheet?
XLS.
XLS, very good. Okay, so that's it. So that's what a file extension is. So whenever you're saving any kind of file, it's always going to save a file extension. Now, depending upon how Windows is set up, it might show it, it might not. You can tell AutoCAD to show it if you know how to tell it how to do it, if you need to see it. Now, here's the thing. Why is it there? Well, it's there because of this. Because if I were to go into this drawing and try to open it with Microsoft Word, do you think it'll open?
Nah.
No, it won't, because the file extension is such that it can't be read by Microsoft Word. Okay, and so that's why it wouldn't work. If it did open it, it just opened it as gibberish. It just gave me a bunch of lines of hexadecimal code, most likely. That's all I get. So therefore, it won't do that. So when I say save it as a DWG, that's just the default AutoCAD format. So if you saved it, it's a DWG, okay? The only thing that you might do that could maybe be incorrect is if you saved it as a DWT. So when you save it, here's what you want to do. You want to go to Save As up here. You go to Save As, and it says, this is the only things you really need to check right here. You want to check right here as far as files of type. Right here, it says AutoCAD 2018 DWG. And if I click on this down here, I can actually get other choices. I can save it as a 2013 DWG or a 2010, going back to 1998, you know? And then I can also save it as a drawing standard file or a DWT. A DWT is a drawing template file. All right, so that's the only thing. So just check and make sure it's saving it as a DWG, not a DWT. That's really about the only thing you have to look out for. And just name it, and then you submit it. You shouldn't have any problem. Did anybody have any issues submitting their work? Is that pretty smooth? Okay.
Seemed to go fine.
Okay, well, that's good. It seemed like you guys did that well. Okay, so I've been doing this for a while, so it seems like you guys are doing pretty well with that. Awesome, that's great. Okay, so moving on from there, what we're going to do is we're now going to go through some of the content that I have out here just to kind of like begin to talk about some of the things in AutoCAD. These next few things are some quizzes that I put together that essentially I just leave them out there not to kind of like, you know, drill you, but to kind of like review what I've learned here. So let me see. I don't think I've got any other. I might have some other CAD bases here. Let me look. Yeah, I've got the AutoCAD intro quiz. Okay, the AutoCAD intro quiz is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Okay, I'm going to open up this AutoCAD intro quiz. Now, if you guys want to, you guys probably can't do this on your machine, or maybe you can. But if you can follow along, you can. If not, you can just write these answers down. I'm going to give you the answers. So here's the AutoCAD intro quiz. So I'm going to open the AutoCAD intro quiz. So I go into here. So you double click on here and it starts it. Okay, so it starts it. This is what the quizzes are like. So this test can be saved and resumed later, and this test allows multiple attempts. Okay, so when you're ready, you click on begin. So you click on begin. Okay, so now when you get into here, what it's going to do is it's going to start, it's going to crunch it, and then I got some questions out here. So I'll go over these with you and I'll begin to give you the answers. Okay, now here, this is important here. Okay, how do you cancel a command using the keyboard? You have 4 choices. Press F2, press escape, press control, or press delete. Does anyone have an idea as far as what the answer would be?
Escape.
It'd be escape.
Delete.
That's right, it'd be escape. So if you press escape, that will cancel a command and that gets you out of there. So if you're in the middle of working and you're saying, oh, I don't want to be here, you just hit escape, you know. It's like a lesson in life. If you don't like what's happening, you escape, you know, and not every situation, that doesn't work for every situation. But, you know, if you want to get out of something, you escape. Okay, you do that. So that's what you do in AutoCAD. Not a lesson for trouble in life. Okay, you got to face things. Okay, anyway, but okay. Question 2: what is the quickest way to repeat a command? Now, here's something else here. What's the quickest way to repeat a command? There's a few choices here. Do we press escape? Do we press F2? Do we press enter? Or do we press control? Anyone have an idea?
Enter.
You press enter. Very good. Okay, so you press enter. Go to the head of the class. And when you press enter, what that does is it repeats the last command. Let me show you this now. I'm going to show you this in action, okay, so you guys can see this. So I'm over here in AutoCAD, and I'm here in AutoCAD, and I'm working on this, and I start and I accidentally, instead of starting the line command, I start the arc command. So I'm in the arc command right now, and I start to get in, and it's like, oh no, I'm in the arc command. Oh man, I guess I have to erase my entire drawing. Everything's wrong and ruined. Well, no, you just hit the escape key. So you hit the escape key, it stops what you're doing right there. So anything you're in the middle of, you stop. Here's another thing you guys might have seen. When you click your mouse like this, have you guys seen this? Has anyone seen this where you click your mouse and it starts to give you this green field? Has anyone seen that yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what that's doing right there is AutoCAD is always trying to read your mind. AutoCAD is always trying to think about it. It is a very, it is a very aware software, so it always knows what's going on here. So when I click right here, now I'm into this, it's like, oh man, AutoCAD sucks. I'm going to get out of this drawing. Well, no, you don't have to do all that. What that's doing right there is AutoCAD is basically trying to read your mouse clicks, and it's saying, oh, they want to select something. So here's a green selection field. Go ahead and select what you want. Well, you may not know that, but it's telling you right now at the command line. Can you guys read my command line? What's it saying?
Specify opposite corner or.
Yeah, so specify opposite corner. So the default is go ahead and finish what you're doing here, okay? So if you do this, if you just click there, you're out of it. So if I click here and I click there, I'm out of it. If I don't select anything, nothing happens, okay? So if this happens, if you just kind of like do a stutter step with the mouse and just doing this, just click again in blank space. Or if you click, just hit your escape key. That's all you got to do. So in AutoCAD, AutoCAD is extremely mouse-centric, and it's going to be reading everything you're trying to do and interpreting it and saying, oh, he wants to do this. She wants to do that. Okay, let me show you something else here. Let's say I want to select all of this content right here to erase it. Let's say I want to do that. If I click here and I go over here like this, watch what happens now. Now watch what happens, okay? My hand's not even on the mouse right now because you don't have to keep your hand on the mouse to have it do this. So right now, I am going into what's called a crossing. The green field means it's a crossing. It's green. Also notice it's got a dashed line around the outside. This is a crossing. Everything a crossing touches will be selected. Now watch this. So I'm going to pull it and watch what happens when I touch this dimension. Boom, it's highlighted. I pull it across these lines, everything gets highlighted, okay? If I put it over here, just that's highlighted. If I put it over here, just that's highlighted. But as soon as I touch these lines, boom, they're highlighted. I pull it across and gradually everything that gets touched gets selected like this, okay? So it does that. So I go through here, it does that. And once I do that, everything has what are known as grips on it. That's what the grips do. The grips actually allow you to see different control vertices. And then at that point, you could then do some different things with that. But for right now, let's just say we wanted to erase it. We could hit the delete key on our keyboard, or you can always right click your mouse and you get all these great choices. I can erase it, move it, copy the selection, and so forth. So I'm just going to go to erase, and that's gone. Right now, I want to bring it back. The easiest way to do it is use my undo right here. Okay, so I'll click on undo and it comes back. So that's what we have right there. Now, if I happen to use my mouse on this side, I click here and I pull it over here, it's blue. It's not green, it's blue. I'm going in this direction. Now watch what this does. I touch this and hey, it didn't get selected. Why not? Well, because the blue field only selects those items that fall entirely inside of it. Now watch this. I keep on pulling it, keep on pulling it. Still nothing, you know? Is this thing broken? Then boom, there you go. As soon as something is entirely inside of it, then it's selected. And you may think, well, okay, what's the big deal? You will be surprised at how important it is to either select from the right or to the left because of having the ability to actually filter out objects or not filter out objects. So I go over here, I continue to go along here, and only when an object is entirely inside of that boundary is it selected. And I continue to go along here, and as they fall entirely inside, look at the bottom line right now. The bottom line is not selected until I get all of it inside there. Bottom line not selected, bottom line is selected. And I go like this, everything's selected. I right click my mouse and choose erase. That is something that you're going to see. And then I can undo it, bring it right back. Okay, so that's how we go ahead and do that. So that's one thing. The other thing you'll find is if you click and hold down your mouse, you're going to get this kind of a shape like this. Okay, that's what's called a lasso. And it does the same thing. Anything that falls inside of the lasso is going to be selected. Okay, let's try this. All right, so go like this. And only those items that fall entirely inside of there are selected like that. So we got that. And so I'd have to go like this and to get all these objects like that. And so we do that. And so you can get any shape that you want to, okay? So that's a lasso. So those are some things that are going on with AutoCAD as you're working with the mouse. The other thing I was going to say is if I start my line command and I go ahead and make a little zigzag like this right here, okay, and I'm done. If I right click my mouse, repeat line is right up here. Repeat line is right at the top. I can also go to recent input and all the last few commands I have are right here. Kind of cool. But if I just go repeat line, I can repeat this. So yes, the escape, the enter key allows you to do that. And so going back to our quiz, the answer is what's the quickest way to repeat a command? You press enter. Now question 3, how are points specified in the AutoCAD Cartesian workspace? X value times Y value, comma, X value, comma, Y value, X value minus dash Y value. So those are the 4 choices. Does anyone want to wax bold and pick a guess?
X value not dash comma Y value.
Yeah, that's exactly right. X value, comma, Y value. Okay, that's exactly what it is. Let me show you how that works. So as we're working in this one over here in drawing C, I'm going to go ahead and open up drawing C and show you how that works. Okay, drawing C is here. Now drawing C, we had this over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick, I'm just going to draw this again. So I'll draw this object. I start the line command and I go ahead and I'm going to align it here like this. So click there, pull it down 0.5, then over 1. Okay, and then down here, 2.5. Okay, now I want to get this angle down here. We looked at this last week. So I'm going to be going to the right 1. And I'm going to be going down. So the number is going to be 1 and -1. And to separate them, I put in a comma. So it's 1, comma, -1, like that. And I do that. And that gives me that. And then I'd go ahead and continue on here, 3. And then I want to go over here. So to get this value, it's going to be 1, comma, 1. They're both positive. So I do that. Then I go up and we're going to go 2.5 and then over 1. Okay, over here, 1. And then up 0.5. Okay. All right, and then up 0.5. And then we'll just go ahead and go over here and close that. Okay, so that's what we would do right there. So the answer for that one is X value, comma, Y value. All right, so I'm giving you guys these answers. You're actually going to want to go through these because it's just a review thing. All right, question 4. How do you know if a file has not been saved after it is modified? Its tab displays a white background in the File tabs bar. It displays an asterisk next to its name in the File tabs bar. Its tab is highlighted in blue in the File tabs bar. Its tab always displays next to the Start tab in the File tabs bar. Okay, does anyone have a guess on that?
Number 2.
Yeah, right, it displays an asterisk. So I'll show you how that works. So if I'm in here right now, and I'm in AutoCAD right now, I'm over in drawing C. Now notice this right here. In this right now, you're going to notice that there is an asterisk right here. Actually, they all have an asterisk, it looks like. So the asterisk is indicating that it's not been saved. So watch what happens when I save it. I click on the save up here. It goes to save it, and the asterisk goes away just that quickly. So that's a drawing's been saved. That's how that works. So it displays an asterisk. Next, how do you fit the entire drawing in the window? You double click on the right mouse button. You hold control and scroll the mouse wheel. You double click the mouse wheel, or you hold the mouse wheel and move the cursor. Does anyone have an idea as far as what the
I think it's the fourth one.
What's that?
The fourth one.
The third one?
Third one,
Fourth.
double click the mouse wheel.
Yeah, that's right. You double click the mouse wheel. That's exactly right. Now, let me show you how this works. So I go back out to here. And as I go out to here, I'm looking at this right now. And if I want to see everything, I double click the wheel on the mouse, boom, boom, and it does that. Okay, now that's how that happens. So if I'm out like this and I just double click the wheel on the mouse, boom, boom, like that. Now let me show you something else here. You can also get zoom extents by going to here. You can go to here and choose zoom extents right here. You can choose zoom window, which is very cool. Zoom window lets you just pick a specific window that you want to look at, like that. It zooms right into that. That to me is the most useful of the zoom commands, honestly. And then you go down here, zoom real time, zoom move. You can zoom in, zoom out. So you go zoom in, and you go back out here, and you go to zoom out. You have to use these if you don't have a mouse, pretty much. So you do this. So that's how you do that. Another way to do this that's old school is you type in Z enter, and it gives you the options down in the command line. And I can type in E. So Z enter, E enter does the same thing. Okay, so we got that. All right.
Professor?
Yeah.
I don't have that little bar on the right side. That for zoom in, zoom out, our little hand there.
Okay, if you don't have this over here, here's how you get it on there. You type in NAVBAR, nav bar. You type in nav bar, and that allows you to turn it on or off. You see it's either on or off. Right now it's on. I just turned it off. So
Okay.
for some reason yours got turned off, but you go ahead and type in nav, BAR, like that, and I can turn it on like this, like that. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
So that's what's called a system variable. And anything in AutoCAD can actually be turned on or off with a system variable, everything. So you don't have to necessarily go up through the interface to do that. Okay, so we went ahead and did that. Question 5 was there, and that's double click the mouse wheel. We're good to go. So I'm going to save and submit, see how we did here. And it says here, okay, I'm going to hit okay. And it goes ahead and it crunches, and it says test saved and submitted. Click OK to view the results. I click OK. And right here, it tells me, and it gives me feedback, tells me that I got all of them right and it was worth that. So that's how you do this. That's a quiz, not intimidating at all. But that's how we go ahead and go through this. And I go through these strictly so that you guys can review some of the more common elements in AutoCAD, okay? I don't want to trip you up. I don't want to grade you down. I just want you to learn this stuff. That's why it's in there. So those are some basics right there. So that was the AutoCAD intro quiz. So go ahead and do that on your own. If you didn't do that along with me, go ahead and do it on your own. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do another one. Okay, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go to, we're at 6:51 already, if you can believe that. We're just going to go through another one, then we'll take a little break. Over here to back to CAD Basics, week 1, I think that's where that was. And we're right here. Okay, we did this. We did the AutoCAD intro quiz. There's another one here, matching OSNAP markers. Okay, now a lot of you will know these. And actually, these are from a couple releases ago. So 1 or 2 of them will be old, but that's okay. We can make this work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this. This test can be saved and resumed later. It allows multiple attempts. I'm going to begin. So I begin. Now, the first thing is, these are object snap markers. Okay, now this right here, it looks like a square. Let me show you something here because I'm going to give you guys the answer. It's pretty easy to do this. So down here where my cursor is right now, this is right here. This is my object snap. And right to the right of it, right next to it is right here. I click there and it gives me my object snaps. So if I go to object snap settings and I click on here, it shows me right here what the different shapes are that are associated with the object snaps. So what is the shape that's associated with an endpoint?
Square.
It's a square. Okay, so if I go back here, which I will do, I'll go back here. Okay, right here. And so what is this? So that is endpoint. So go ahead and type in endpoint like that. So I do that. That's correct. Now the next one is this one. That's a triangle. So if I go over here and take a look at it, triangle is midpoint. So I go to here and I'll go ahead and type in midpoint. You have to, the only thing is you just can't You just can't misspell it, all right? Now the next one, this right here is center. So go ahead and do that. Back to here, and we'll type in center. So right here, all these are just very easy, just review. And this one looks like this right here. So what's that? Question 4 shows me this right here. That is the node, all right? So I go over here, and I type in node, N-O-D-E. All right, question 5. Looks like this diamond right here. So I find the diamond here. That is the quadrant. That actually, if I hold it here, it tells me that snaps to a quadrant point of a circle. That means the poles, like the north, south, east, and west. So go up here, and we'll go ahead and choose quadrant. Type in quadrant, Q-U-A-D-R-A-N-T. Question 6 looks like this. I go over here. What's the X? That's intersection. So I go to here, and I type in intersection. Like that. Next one looks like this. Looks like a couple of squares, kind of like a kitty corner to each other, a diagonal to each other. And if I look at those right here, it tells me that would be insertion. That's the insertion object snap. So I choose insertion. Not the same as intersection. Insertion, intersection are not the same thing. I got this one right here, and right here it shows me this. That's perpendicular. See it right there. So I go ahead here and type in perpendicular, P-E-R-P-E-N-D-I-C-U-L-A-R, perpendicular. Now back over to here, I then have another one. It's this one, looks like nearest, looks like an hourglass. So I go to here, and I go ahead and type in rather nearest, N-E-A-R-E-S-T. And then I got this one right here. And this one looks like this. It is actually parallel. It's the parallel object snap. So over here. And I go ahead and click in here, and I type in P-A-R-A-L-L-E-L. Is that how you spell it? I think it's how you spell it. Yeah, 2 L's and then E-L. That's it. So parallel. And then when I'm done, I click on Save and Submit. When I do that, I click on OK. And it does this. I click on OK. And how do we do here? Shows me all this. Tells me I got them all right. That's great. So that's how we do this whole thing. So I've got this whole thing happening right now. And that is how you go through the quizzes. So I got those. We're going to take a little break right now. It's 6:55. Let's just take 5 minutes or so. And we'll go ahead and just take a break. Just if you need to go to the restroom or do something else, let's take 5 minutes. And we'll come back and we'll continue on. But that's great. So write down any questions you might have and we'll continue. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Okay, we're back at it and we're going to continue on here. And by the way, I noticed that you guys sent me emails about backing out drawings. That's cool. I'll do it later. Won't get a chance to do that during class, of course. So we're going to jump in and we're going to continue on through here. As you're going through AutoCAD, one thing about this is setting up the interface is one of the big things that you have to do. One of the big things that you have to get established, because when you install AutoCAD, by default, it installs without some of the really important things. Let me do a quick thing here. Let's see here. I think just going to do a quick check right here because I think I had a person who was here. I want to make sure they're still here. Yes, yes. So we're good to go there. And okay, I think everyone's here. Yeah, we got a full class, which is kind of cool. At least we did. Looks like someone left. Okay. Okay, but everyone started off being here, so some people may have left, you know, but okay, we'll deal with that. Okay, so we're going to move on. All right, good to have you guys here, and what we're going to do right now is we're going to just kind of do a little bit of review of some things here. One of the things that I am fond of talking about here is some of the methodologies that you use when you're working with AutoCAD, and some of these have to do with how you set it up. Let me see if I can't find this real quickly. I had a couple of items that I wanted to show you guys. Okay, really should have all these in one spot. I know I just saved it someplace, but oh well, we'll have to go looking for it again. That's the way it is. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'll go ahead and grab these from this location here. I think they're out there. Let me find that. And yeah, it's under here. Can we grab that? Okay. All right. Well, what we'll do is we'll just do this differently. Since I don't have the images, I'll just go back here and show you directly. So back in AutoCAD, if I'm in this drawing right here, one of the things I want to point out is, and I actually put a document together here called AutoCAD Tweaks. And so to show you a few things that you want to always make sure that you've got on here is over here under my CAD Basics Week 1. Down here, you'll see I've got AutoCAD Interface Tweaks. I typically hand this out to my students on the first day, and we go through this. But let me show you what this is all about, the AutoCAD Interface Tweaks. So if I double click on this right here, it shows me this. Now, these are the kind of things you want to do. First of all, the customization, you want to turn on 4 different items that are not on by default, the way AutoCAD ships. And that's your coordinates, dynamic input, line weight, and your units. You want to have those things on. So if I go back to AutoCAD here, and I'm in this drawing here, the location that I would use over here is over here. This is how I get into customization, right down here. It's these 3 horizontal lines. So I click on that. When I do that, I turn on coordinates. By default, it's not on, so you have to turn that on. By default, dynamic input's not on, so you want to turn that on. By default, line weight's not on, so you want to turn that on. And by default, units is not on, so you want to turn that on. So those 4 items you want to have turned on as I've got that indicated here. So coordinates, dynamic input, line weight, units, you turn those on. The command line, okay, by default, it does not, it's not actually docked. So typically when you start AutoCAD, it looks like that. It's just kind of stacked right here. Now that it'll work, but it's always better to dock it. So to dock it, you hover your cursor over the left side, which is 2 columns of dots. And you click and hold down, you pull it up here, and you can peel it up like that. And then at that point, you can take it and dock it. Now, when I pull it down here, watch what happens when I get down to the bottom here. I pull it down into the interface, and it becomes an empty gray rectangle. And I let it go, and it releases it right to there. And that's what you want to do right there. By the way, let me show you something else here just happened here. You see this says automatic save? It just fired off an automatic save. AutoCAD has an automatic save function. I bet you did. You may have known that. You may not have known that. But AutoCAD is saving your drawing by default every 10 minutes, okay, if you're working with it. It's going to do that. And it saves it in a location out here that you have to, that you can tell it, which is out here under Open and Save. And Open and Save right here, this is where I can actually have AutoCAD do an automatic save every 10 minutes. and it creates a backup file with each save as well. So it does that. Then if I go to files here, it tells them, I can actually tell it right here where I want those locations to be. So I've got my, over here, I got a temporary drawing file location right here. That's where I'll actually save the, actually that's not it right there, but that actually is one location. So there's a couple other things here that I actually have that support file search path, which is where the AutoCAD looks for files. And so forth, and automatic save file location right here. This is where your automatic save file is going to go to, and so that's what happens there. Just so that you know that AutoCAD does that, it automatically saves it. So you've got that. So we went ahead and we did that. So we docked the command line. Next thing, the menu bar, you don't have to do that. That's something that it's nice, but you don't have to do it. Now your shortcuts. I guess you don't really need this part, but the properties palette, the design center toolbars, those are things that you have right there. We'll get to that later. And then you got some shortcuts here. You type the letter L and hit enter, that starts the line command. You type the letter Z and hit enter, that starts the zoom command, and so forth. And those are all different things that you have the availability to do. So what that means is this: any command that you have in AutoCAD, you can actually start from the command line. So what I mean is this: if I type the letter L, when I type the letter L, notice what happened there. AutoCAD gave me a listing of different commands that start with the letter L. And the very first one is line, okay? And the thing is, so I got line, I can scroll down here and see that, well, there's a bunch on here. So, okay, so I got that. So I go ahead and accept line. If I just go ahead and hit my enter key, it starts the line command. And we're good to go like that, okay? And just to kind of like demonstrate how this works right here, if I wanted to actually create new layers, the default method that we typically use in AutoCAD is to go up here and go to layer properties, but you don't have to do that. Let's say I want to create a new layer here. And this is for the geeks in the crowd right now. If I type in -LA, I can go into the dash layer command. Now watch what happens here. If I go into -LA, I'm actually doing this on the command line. This is how we used to make layers back in 1989. So if I want to create a new layer, I can just type the letter N for new. And then I would go ahead and ask me to give you a name list. I'll go ahead and say red. And I'll go ahead and do that. And then I'll say color. Let's go ahead and type the letter C for color. And I'll go ahead and type in the number 1 for red. So once I've done that, I hit the for color 1 red, hit the enter key, got that. Let me try this, let me try one more thing here. And I'm going to go ahead and make, yeah, I think I got that. Let me see if that worked for me here. So I went ahead and went up here and it made a new layer right there called red. Okay, like that. So I didn't apply the color correctly, but you get the idea. But I just made a new layer just like that. Pretty cool. And then over here, I could go through here and just change the colors and so forth. So anyway, the point that I'm trying, I didn't actually do anything in AutoCAD simply by going through a typed command, okay? Just be aware of that, you can. So anyway, that's something that you want to be aware of. So we have that. So those are the tweaks that you want to work with. And I don't think, okay, here's the other thing. When you're working with AutoCAD, there are actually going to be 3 things that you typically want to have on your screen, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what they are. I'm gonna go here. I'm going to go ahead and draw a line to them. You want to have this, and this, and this, and this. These items right here, okay? This right here, this one is actually called, that's your dynamic input. And what that does is that allows you to actually have the prompt show up by your crosshairs. You got that. There is polar tracking. This allows you to draw at 90-degree angles. Okay, so if I have that turned on, I can draw at 90-degree angles. I'll show you that real quickly. So if I go here, it's right now it's turned on. So I start the line command. I go like this, and I'm able to draw at 90-degree angles. I can pull it off there, but I can by default, it'll go ahead and let me do that. Okay, now if I turn this off, watch what happens. I turn this off, and guess what? It doesn't lock in. I can get close, but I'm not necessarily, I don't really know. It doesn't, or it does, or what happened there? Why make a liar out of me? Okay, okay, that's doing an extension. So let me turn this off. So I do this right here, and right now, I'll turn this off too. So it's not giving me anything. I got no indicator right now if I'm on or not. So it's just a good guess. Okay, I can pretty much try to guess. And, you know, if we do that, we've got some, it doesn't really let me do that. So therefore, I no longer have the ability to draw straight. So, but turning these back on, polar tracking, when I turn these on, I'm able to go ahead and draw straight lines again. So polar tracking controls that right there. Okay, the other thing that you want to work with as you're working with this right here is, get rid of these things. All right, if I wanted to draw from one location to another, the object snaps control that. So if I turn these off and I try to draw a line from here, like right here, I'm gonna try to get there, close, close. Let's try to get down to here. I'll click again. There we go. When I zoom in here, I missed. Why did I miss? Well, my object snap tracking was off. My object snap is off. So I turn my object snap back on. And when I start to draw my line again, I can go ahead and go here and it lights up, tells me that it's there. And I'm able to go ahead and snap to each one of these. So that is how we're able to go ahead and make that happen. All right. So those are what you have those. So those four are the four that you want to have on. Again, one more time. That's my vanishing pen. Do I have a permanent pen? Let me see. I think I do. All right. Yeah, I guess I can do this. All right, I'll go over here. Yeah, so I'll just do this. So you basically want dynamic input, polar tracking, object snap tracking, and object snap. I call those the four horsemen. You want to have the four horsemen turned on. And then the other thing you want to do is over here where you actually have this. This is actually the object snaps that you have set up. You want to have these set up by going here. And what you want to do is you want to have these set up with the Fab 5. There's 5 different object snaps you want to typically have on. And they are these right here: endpoint, midpoint, center, intersection, and extension. Those 5. Endpoint, midpoint, center, intersection, extension. Those are the Fab 5. You want to have those on. So between those 2 items right there, that will give you predictable results in AutoCAD. So you want to make sure you do that. That's probably a review from last week, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and move on from there. Okay, so now that we've got that, we've got some familiarity with that. And going back over here, just going through this different content here, I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to go back over here and see if I have some other goodies in here, which I think I do. My little bag of tricks over here. And going into my CAD basics, we went over this. We've got the hospital floor plan. That's just kind of a generic floor plan that I did down in Brooklyn. Matching OSNAP markers, we got that. Then I got a few things here that don't apply. This is the learning center location at the school, but we're not at the school. And then I've got a couple tutorials out here, basic drawing and editing commands. I've got this right here, and let me see what this one is, the tutorial. Yeah, okay, that's something you can go through. I've got that. Yeah, I've got a lot of content out here. I've also got right here some a lot of different videos and stuff that are actually in place right here. Okay, so I've got that. That kind of covers a lot of this information for here. CAD for construction, that's from actually last semester. We don't need to get into that. I did that last semester. You don't have to get into that. Okay, but what I would recommend is under here, I actually have over here AutoCAD tutorials. And under AutoCAD tutorials, I have a few things here. I have an introduction to AutoCAD video. I've got an introduction to layers. I've got the AutoCAD move command. I show you here how to do AutoCAD drawing A, which is what we worked on last week, and drawing C. And with these elements right here, that is enough right there for you to draw everything we've done up to this point right now. So you've got that. One of the things I will show you right here is if I were to go, for instance, to any one of these, if I go to the AutoCAD move command, it actually opens up my channel here, my AutoCAD channel. So I'm gonna skip that. And I've got a channel here on YouTube, and this is a YouTube channel I have that's actually called Spring Drive CAD, and I've got these different items out here. This is about the move command, teaches the basics of that. So we're gonna get into some of this stuff tonight. But anyway, we've got that, and any of one of these will double click and go out to my out there. So we're going to do that. So we have that going on. Other than that, I've got this, which is helpful. For those that just are maybe new to AutoCAD, you can go to this AutoCAD overview. An AutoCAD overview is a nice little document here that actually has kind of like a slideshow about learning about AutoCAD, an introduction to AutoCAD for beginners. And it begins to discuss about these things. And it gives an introduction to AutoCAD and talks about how it works and what it does. All right. And then it gives you some things here about how to make this work. Talks about some things, new features. You probably don't care about new features, but you can go on and get through that. And then getting into here, we then go into this, the user interface tour, and it gets into this right here. talks about how to go through these different user interfaces. Guide to AutoCAD Basics. This is a very valuable thing I put in here, and I pulled out, I think it's released 2018, but it actually goes through all this, shows you how to do everything. A lot of this is review. I would just recommend you kind of like go over this. It's real easy reading, and I've got this in here, you know, just because I thought it'd be valuable for you guys to see this. So anyway, that's what you have right there. And this is all under these AutoCAD tutorials. So I have that right there. And that was the AutoCAD overview. I've got a tutorial in here, which actually has you opening something up. And for those that are really geeks, you can go to the AutoCAD 2011 command reference. And this right here is a 2,764 page document that has every command in AutoCAD. This is from 2011, but it's got every command. So if you want to learn any command, let's say, well, I want to know about the boundary command. You go out here and you say, okay, let's go ahead and find that. I click on boundary and boom, it brings it up. It tells you what it does. It tells you how to get there, explains how you use it, and basically all this stuff. And it's in color. This is absolutely a fantastic resource right here. Pretty much it's an online user manual that's, if you were to go to the store and buy this, it'd probably be $60. But anyway, I got it for free. It was someplace out that was free, so I just grabbed it. It was published by Autodesk, so I got that. Okay, and then so that's the AutoCAD 2011 command reference. And then I talk about CAD layer standards right here. And this is where I talk about how you would actually put CAD layer standards together so your CAD layers make sense. So I've got all that out here. So I just want you to see this content. So that's all out there. This is tutorial type stuff. And out on Spring Drive CAD, that's my channel. There's a bunch of things out there. So let's pick up now. Now that we've done that, we're going to continue on here. So we're into this right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to continue on, and we're going to continue on to drawings, which are due next week, E, F, G, and H. We're going to do those. So a lot of these are going to be overlapping, but not everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to download my basic drawing template. I already did this last week, but I'm going to download again just for your benefit. I'm going to go there. So I download it and it downloads again. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do drawing E, because that's going to be due next week. So drawing E, I've got my stack of drawings right here. I've got them right here. So here's my stack of drawings. You might be able to see that. I printed it out, which I'd recommend that you do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this drawing right now. So first of all, I'm going to close out of these and I'm going to save them. And I'm going to do this for each one of these. Save, and now we're getting into the meat of the lesson here. So go to here, and what we're going to do right now is we're going to start a new drawing. So to start a new drawing, it's always going to be similar. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to use the spotlight. I'm going to go to new. New looks like this right here. I could also go to the application menu and choose new right here. They both do the same thing. It's going to prompt me for a template. So to find a template, I have to go find a template. Now I already downloaded this. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go to my here, I want to go to my computer. So I'll click this drop down and I'll say, I want to look on my C drive in my downloads, and downloads should be somewhere over here. All right, should be. Let's see here, not seeing that. All right, let's try that again. So we'll go back and let's try it this way. Yeah, I'll just go to this. I'll go to the user. That's usually the easiest way to do it, and go to downloads. All right, and what I got right here is that should have downloaded that, and I don't see it. So let's see here, date modify. All right, I don't know where it went to. Maybe it went to the desktop. Let me look there. I don't see, oh, because it's looking for a drawing right now. Okay, so let me change that to DWT. Go to DWT, we'll take another look. Okay, so I didn't see it there. Let's go to the, let's go over here and let's see what we have here. Looking here, and it should be there. Let's go to downloads here. Come on, come on. Yeah, there we go. Downloads, here it is. Basic drawing template, there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And when I do, it starts me in this location right here. So what I'm going to do right now is drawing E. Now, what I did here is I downloaded this before. So I'm going to open this up so you guys can see it, because I dropped this in before. Just want you guys to be clear. So basic drawing template, it's not there. So where did I save it? Let's find it. Yeah, here we go. All right, here we go. So drawing E looks like this here. So drawing E. Now, what are the similarities? What are the differences? Well, first of all, we see something different here. We see that it says 60 degrees. Okay, now we talked about polar tracking, controlling how you're able to go ahead and draw. Okay, so a couple things here. First of all, this is 2.5 typical, and then they're all 60 degrees. Okay, so let me go ahead and see what my options are here in AutoCAD. So I'm going to go out here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all go here to polar tracking, which is my pizza icon here. So over to the right of it, I can go ahead and I can save it right here. I got 90 degrees, 45 degrees, and I got 30 degrees. Now the 30 degrees is a multiple of 60 degrees. So therefore, there's actually not a choice in here for choosing just 60. So I'm going to choose 30. That's the best way to go here. So I'll go to
Professor.
Yeah.
Could you give me 1 second to re-download it? For some reason, it didn't save into my computer, so I just got to re-download the template real quick.
Sure.
While we're waiting, I had a question. In the
Yeah.
lower right-hand corner, the far icon that's lit up with the light blue, the circle, what is that?
Okay, are you asking what's the icon I'm talking about here?
Nope, all the way to the right.
Yep, over here.
The one that's the light blue, that one.
Oh, what is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's graphics configuration. That's hardware acceleration. Okay, what that does right there is that actually is something that AutoCAD lets you toggle on or off that actually enhances the performance.
Okay.
Do you have that on yours? Is that what you're at? Why you're asking?
Yeah, I don't have that one. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, you can turn that on. If you go here, I think it's right down here. So you can turn it on or off. So if I turn that off, I don't have it either. You see that? You see my status bar there?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right, so you can turn it on or off. Okay. Let me know when you get that template.
Where is it located again? I'm just going through the files.
Yeah, okay. You mean, did you already download it?
No, I'm trying to find it to download it.
Okay, so where you want to find that, it's actually out here. And I appreciate you asking, because if you're asking, then more than one person wants to know. It's under AutoCAD Intro Assignments Week 2 right here. So you go into there, and then your templates right here.
Where are all the drawings that we can print out?
Right here, AutoCAD Intro Assignments. You open that up, they're all right here, and you can print them right there and download
Great,
them.
thank you.
All right. Also,
And then
actually, yeah, go ahead.
how do we know that we've successfully opened, like say now I have this blank project open and I did open it with your templates, but how would I know that by looking at my screen other than like going into my layers and seeing the layers you've created? Is there any other way that it indicates?
Yeah, okay. What you would do right here is if you went up here, first of all, that would be the main way I would just tell you is like if you're seeing object right here, you can take a look at the list of layers. That'd be the main way you would do it. That would tell you like, okay, there's something in here. There's more than nothing. And other than that, let's see here. If I hit F2, okay, it doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me where it started from. Let's see here. There probably are a couple other ways. If I go up here and if I go to my drawing utilities, this is kind of going into the weeds. But if I go to drawing properties here, what does it tell me here? General, summary, statistics, custom. Okay. Yeah. I actually not giving too much here. Yeah. Let me try another one. Status. Okay. So there's status right here. What's it tell us? Let's see what we got here. What's it telling me here? Yeah, it's not really telling me the template that I use right there. So I guess at this point I guess at this point, the biggest thing is this would be an indicator. And then if you were to go here to your annotation, you could take a look right here and you'd see that there are, under here, there are these different, wow, there's no annotated dimension styles. What the heck? I don't have those in there. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that would be, I guess the best indicator for you is just that you got this in here. And the other indicator would be your units down here. Your units say decimal right down here, and they're decimal over here too. Okay. I guess the way you could test it is right. Well, I don't know if this will work either or not, because it doesn't really give you that information. Anyway, I would look for these two things. You would look at the layers, okay, and then you'd also look and verify that it's set up here, and that would be enough that you've got the correct template. Other than that, you should kind of have enough awareness that you're using the right template. So you do those checks, that should be enough, okay?
Thanks.
Oh, okay. Now, moving on to this, how are we doing there? Did you get that downloaded then?
Yes, I did. You changed the angle or something like that. How did you do that? Now that I got it downloaded.
You go down to the pizza icon, and I say that because it looks like a pizza, particularly if you're hungry. But anyway, the right here, you got this. It looks like it's polar tracking, and next to the polar tracking icon, you go right here and you change the angle to 30, 60, 90, right there. Okay.
Thank you. I just have to keep switching back and forth.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start to draw this. Now, just to be clear about what we're looking at this one. So now we said that this is 2.5. Now this is straight up. Okay, always good to start with a directly straight line so we can kind of use it like a to get things started for us. Now that's one thing we can do, and then over here I can actually do this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this with a polyline. And there's a reason why. I'm going to use with a polyline. A polyline is like a line, only all the items stay connected. So I'm going to use a polyline. Now you can use a line. A polyline just makes life easier. So I'm going to do this. So I'm going to use a polyline. I'll show you how I would do this. So let's start this. So I'm going to go back over to here. And this is actually kind of fun. So I go to my polyline. I'm going to click here. So I click at any point, I pull it up. And the distance was 2.5. So I do that. Now that I'm doing this, I pull it over here and I lock it in. I try to find the distance. Now there it is. I lock it in at 30 degrees. That's what I want. Now, what is the distance that I should type in there?
2.5.
There, it's all 2.5, you know, no matter what I ask you, the answer will be 2.5, you know, all right. All right, there we go. So you got that. Now at that point, I'm going to continue on through here. I'm going to pick on this point right here and I pull it like this and it locks in there. And we're good to go there. And this one kind of builds itself. Okay, am I using polyline? No, yeah, I am. I am. So I go to here, got that. Okay, now I've got that. Now I'm going to go down this way, 2.5 again. And then I'm going to go up and I'm going to go over here, 2.5, like that. And then I go down here. And so what I'm doing right here is I'm making this kind of shape right here, and it's actually pretty easy. So as I'm going through here right now, I'm making good progress. I'll continue with my polyline. I'll go here to here. So I connect these. Now at this point, I'm doing pretty darn good. I'll go to there. And then I'm going to go up in this direction here, and that's going to be 2.5 again. So
Would you mind waiting right there until I catch up real quick?
I'm sorry, what?
Would you mind holding out for a second until I catch up? Because I gotta keep switching back and forth to see what you're doing.
Well, actually, I'm just going to keep on, because I'm just going to keep going. All right. I'm not expecting you to do this along with me right now. So that's something you're choosing to do. So at this point, I'm going to continue at this and you can look at the video later. Okay.
Okay.
But here we go. So 2.5, go like that. And we're going to come down like this. All right. So go like that. Now, if I got that right, it looks like I'm off a little bit. So I'm off. So I want to check that and verify that I got that. So I go back up to here. I want to make sure I lock it in 2.5. Let's make sure I check my angles. And that should come straight. It looks like I missed it. So I got to find out where my problem is. So let me back this out and see what happened there. It looks like I may have missed the snap. So I'll go ahead and pull this off of here and it should lock it in. Okay, there it is. Try it again. It does happen sometimes. You go up like this. Let's try it again. Make sure it's locked in 2.5. And you always want to make sure that it's the way it should be. Yeah, it's still off. Okay, so I must have made a mistake somewhere right down here. So let me fix that. All right, we'll figure that out. So let's see here. So, and there's a couple different ways to do that. So let me do this. Let me make sure I got this right. We'll get rid of that. So we'll do this, and I'm going to click on this. Now, when you click on an object like this, you can hover your cursor over it and verify that everything is the right size. In this case, it's all 2.5. So I click on it. And I hover my cursor here. It says 2.5, 2.5. I can go over here, make that 2.5. I've got that. Now at this point, I'm going to continue to build this. Let me go back to polyline. I'll do this again. And I'll go like this, and 2.5 like that, and then like that. And then we'll go down like this. and then 2.5 like that. Okay, so now let's see if we can get this going here again and see if I can't find out where I might have missed that. Okay, so we have that. Now at that point, we should be good, and then I should be able to connect this again. Hopefully that'll be right, and we don't have an issue. So, because if you don't want to build your geometry on something that's no good, always want to make sure you're getting it where it should be. All right. Okay, so now we'll try this again, and hopefully we'll have some better success here. And that's here, so 2.5 like that. And should it go straight down? Yeah, better. Okay, so I had something wrong there. So it's always a good idea to redo that. And I'm going to continue on through here. So I go down here, and I'm just building this whole thing. And then I go straight up this way, 2.5 this way. And I'm going to go down here like this. And then I'm going to go up and 2.5 again. And then I'm going to go down here like this. So we got that. All right, so I've got that. Now that's what the shape should pretty much look like, okay? And that's all with polylines right there, which I use there. Now I've got these tabs. Now these tabs, notice what I've got here. What I've got going on right here is this tab gives me one dimension. It's not giving me two. So therefore, I'm not going to use my my two coordinate separated by a comma. I can just use my I can just go ahead and pull it in a certain direction, type in 0.25. So I've got that, which is what I'll do. So I'll go here, I'll go to line, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this point right here. I'm going to go up a distance of 0.25 like that. And then I want to pull it in this direction. Now you notice right here, I pull it here and it locks in. The distance there is going to be 2.25 like that. And then I pull it down like this. And that is how I actually put that in there. So that is how I
line or polyline.
That one, I forget. Either one will work for these. Actually, for this one, a polyline would be the preferred choice too. So if I didn't do that,
was polyline.
was it? Okay. And then I'll say thank you, and then 0.25 like this, and then over this way, 2.25 like that, and then we'll go ahead and snap it right up to here like this, like that. And then I'm gonna go in this direction. So I go back out this way, 0.25 again, and then I go down this way, 2.25 like that. And then I'll go ahead and put that right to there. So I've got that, and we are looking pretty good. And then let's see here, I've got one more down here and down to here. So I'll go ahead and click here and go down this way, 0.25, boom, and then 2.25. And we'll go up to here like that. All right, last one is down here at the bottom. And so each one of these is just using these. And so what I'm doing is I'm using the power of this AutoCAD polar tracking to construct this, which is really the takeaway for this exercise. You're using polar tracking. I think I put in the wrong, I typed in 0.5. So 0.25. By the way, did you notice what I did right there? I typed in the wrong value and I realized it. So then I right-clicked my mouse and I went to undo while I'm still in it. And I stay in the command, but I go back one line segment. That's actually very useful. And then I'll go over 2.25 like that. And then I'll go ahead and snap. And that is how I put that together. And then at that point, that's what the shape looks like. And then I would change my layer, my current layer, to dimensions, and I'd go to linear. And I would do the same thing I did before, which is clicking here to here, then over like this. And I go ahead and do that. And I would put my cursor at the end of it and type in TYP. And actually on the sheet, I didn't put a period in, but you should write in, you should put in the period. Now, if you want to move this, I can click on the actual, I can click on this right here. And when I do this, I can actually move the text around by doing this. All right, so if I want to move it around so it looks like the sheet that I made, you can do that. And then you've got this over here. I'm going to go to linear and I'm going to go from here to here like this. And I'm going to pull that off of there. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I double click here and I'm going to type in TYP, period, like that. Got that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in an indicator for the angles. Well, this is new. We haven't seen this before. I click here and down here I have angular. So I can click on angular. So I'll go here and I'll click on this line here and this line here. And that tells me 60 degrees right there. So I'll go to there and I'd go ahead and double click on this and I'll make that say 60 degrees, TYP, period. Boom. And that is what we would do for that one. And then if the text is not where you want it to be, you click here and you can move it as I'm going to do here. go ahead and take it and move it like maybe over here, and then we're good to go. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm going to go here and I'm going to put in my text. We've seen this before. I click on the text layer, and then I go here and I'll go to multi-line text, and I'll click here, pull it down. I'm going to type in drawing E, drawing E, something like that. And then I'm going to move this. I'm going to show you a cool little trick here. If I click on this and then I hold down my control key, I can use my arrow keys just to run it over a little bit like this. Okay, so we got that. That is how we do that, and I'm going to save it. So,
Professor,
yeah.
how did you make the 60 degrees TYP like appear in the triangle?
Okay, what I did is I just clicked on this, and then I just pulled it to where I want it to be.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Here's the cool thing about your dimensions. When you're working with it, if you click on the dimensions, you can grab the text and move it anywhere you want to. So you click on the grip. The secret of your grips is if you click on the grip and it turns red, you can then use it and pull it anywhere.
Okay.
Yes, that's how those work. All right, and that's how you go ahead and make that happen. Very good, very good. So we'll save that as, and we'll save it as drawing E, and I'm going to save it to my desktop, and I'm going to save it as a drawing. Why is that doing that? Come on, you. All right, yeah. So drawing E, D-R-A-W-I-N-G, E, just like that. Just like that. Okay, so that was drawing E. That was not too bad at all. So you got that going on. Okay, and I appreciate you guys being patient. I know it's not easy sitting here just watching this guy. This guy just sits here and he draws. That's all he does, you know. And I understand, you know, I do, and I'm not unaware. But the thing is, so then we're going to go down here to drawing F. Now here is where things start to change a little bit. All right, because now we're getting into architecture. Now we're getting into architecture. Now, when you get into architecture, that means you have to use a different kind of template. Now, let me stop and say something here. Very often when I'm teaching, I'm going to be dealing with people who are actually either Canadian, or they're maybe from Europe, or they're maybe from some nation that didn't use feet and inches. And if that's the case, then this is something that's a little bit different to them. But when you're working with your feet and inches on this right here, you have to actually type in those feet and inches, and you have to use a template that will accommodate feet and inches. So what you got here, it's like essentially an elevation of a garage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to construct an elevation with just basic, the basic tools that we know so far. So we're going to do this. So to do this, this is drawing F. And so what I want to do is I'm going to go back over to here, because what I did here is, if you recall, I told you there's different templates. So I go back out here to the AutoCAD Intro Assignments Week 2, and I go to here, and you'll notice that I've got the basic drawing template A through E. That's not F. So where's that? Where is that? Architectural template, F and G. It's right here. So I've got this. This is what the one you want to find. It's an architectural template for F and G. Okay, it's there. You just got to look for it. So you download that. And this was in 2019, back before the world went crazy. Okay, so we go ahead and download this, and we're going to go ahead and start a new drawing using that. So I'm going to close out of this one. And then what I'll do is I will close out of there. And if it'll let me, okay. And then I'm going to go to new. So click on new right here. And it says, okay, where's your template? And I'm going to go find my template by going out here. And I'm going to say the template that I want is out here. And it is going to be under downloads, if I can find my downloads. And it is basic drawing, architectural template, drawings F through G. See that? So I go to there and I hit open. Now, when this opens up, here's the thing. This says object, and then down here it says dimensions. Okay, so it looks just the same there. Okay, you'd mentioned that. However, down here it says architectural. That's the indicator that you got the right one here. Okay, so you've got that one there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw. It's actually, you just have to be aware of how this works right here. Now, because what happens is every time I teach this, I tend to have some of the same return, where people, instead of typing in 10'6", they type in 10.6. Well, that's not 10.6. Okay, that's 10'6". 10'6" means it's 10 feet. Yeah, a foot is 12 inches for those that are not familiar with that. So that means it'd be 126 inches would be that size, okay? And that's how that works right there. So if that's not something you're familiar with, you want to definitely review that. In any case, that is the thing. So it's not 10.6, it's 10 feet, 6 inches. That's what that is now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start drawing this at the lower left corner. This first dimension is 4 feet. Then I'm going to go up 8 feet and then over 10 feet. So I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to go back to here. And so it's 4 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, starting at the lower left corner. So I start, I'll use a polyline, what the heck. I'll start down here and I'll click here and I'll go over 4 feet. I type in the foot symbol. All right, and then up 8 feet. Pull it up like this. And when I do this, I type in 8 feet. Then I pull over this way, 10 feet. Okay, looking good so far. Okay, so I got that. So I go back to here, I drew this, and I drew this. Now going down, it's the same. 8 feet down, 4 feet over, and then I'm going to go up 9 feet. This is 9 feet to get to this eave. So I go back down in this direction, and it's 8 feet. Putting in the foot symbol.
Professor?
Yeah.
Sorry, can you one more time explain the inches to feet that you just did?
Yeah, there are 12 inches in a foot. Okay, that means if although at this point I'm just typing in feet right now, but there's 12 inches in a foot. Let me, for those that may be new to this right now. Okay, so I've got this right here. This is an architect's scale. Okay, that's a ruler. Okay, this is a foot. There are 12 inches in a foot. That means if I have 1 foot, I have 12 inches. If I have 2 feet, there's 24 inches. If I have 3 feet, I have 36 inches, okay? And so when you're putting in these notations, you'll put in feet followed by inches. You're not going to need to actually convert it to inches. You're just going to need to put in the feet and inches. So does that help?
Yeah, I meant in the program, did you have to change anything?
No, it does. As long as you, here's the thing, as long as you use the template I'm supplying, it's all set up for you. I did it for you. If you don't use the template and you're kind of like, if half you guys are not paying attention right now, and I know what's going to happen, I've taught this enough times, what's going to happen is you guys are going to use the wrong template. You're going to type in 10.6 instead of 10.6, and you're going to hand it in, it's going to be wrong, and I'm going to give you a bad grade, and then I'll have to explain what feet and inches are, okay? I have this all set up for you. This isn't my first rodeo. I'm doing this to help you. I don't need a template that's using feet and inches. I can change it. I'm doing it for you, okay? So if you just use what I give you, life is much easier for you. If you don't listen, you do so to make life harder for yourself, which is what your parents have told you their whole lives. Anyway, that's life. Anyway, and I'm on your parents' side. What's that? Go ahead.
I guess I was thinking mine was in inches because your first line was 4. And when I put mine in, mine looked much smaller than yours. So I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah, you have to type in the foot symbol. As you notice, as I'm typing this here, let me show you something here. Okay, as you look at this, notice this. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so you guys can see this. Because this is an important concept. I realize that, okay, see this right here? That's 10 foot dash 6 inches. A single quote means feet. A double quote means inches. See that?
And how can I type? How can I type? 10, 6, 10.6, 10.6.
All right, okay, here's what you have right here. I've got a keyboard right here, okay? All right, what you would do is the single quote is right here. I've got the enter key and the single quote is right on this key. You can't see that. Let me go ahead and go here. It's right, okay, it's right here next to the enter key. It's a single quote. It's right here. Okay, so you go to the enter key and you go right there. The single quote looks like a little dash, okay? So that's what it is. And the thing is, I wish I had a better keyboard. But the thing is, but it's a single quote. And I realize that if you're not, if you've not grown up with feet and inches, this is new. I run into this every semester. It happens every time. So I want to make sure I'm explaining it. So it's a 10 feet and 6 inches. So you only got to type in 10, the single quote, and 6. So on your keyboard, the single quote is right next to the enter key. Let me see. Well, I don't really know how else to do this, except I'm showing you that. Let me see if I can't do this again. Let me see if okay, let me do this. Let me see if I can get this camera up here. Let's see if I can't make this work. Okay, so as you take a look at this right now, and you're not the only one who has a question, I'll guarantee that. Okay, that's upside down. So let me flip this around here. Let me go like this. Let me see if I can't make this work here. Okay, so as I go like this, and as I go here, you'll see the enter key, okay? Right next to the enter key, you see right there at the bottom of the key to the left of the enter key, it's got a little dash, a little straight up and down dash. That's your single quote. There's a double quote above it. Single quote is feet, double quote is inches, okay?
Okay, okay.
Makes sense? Okay, that's what that is, okay? So we'll see how this works, okay? So then, that's how that works. So let me show you what it looks like when you type it in, and you'll know whether you got it or not because it'll go a certain distance, okay? All right, so here's what you got. So I've got this right here, and so I've got that in place. So let me go ahead and back this out a little bit, and we'll talk about this. Okay, so I'm over here. So it's 4 feet, and then 8 feet, and then 10 feet, and then down 8 feet, and then over 4 feet. Now this over here is 9 feet. See, it's a single quote right there. So now that's where I'm at right now. Okay, so I'm over here, so I'm over 4 feet. So I type in 4 in the single quote, which again is right next to the enter key, and it looks like that. That's what it looks like. That's 4 feet right there. I hit my enter key. Now I'm going up. I'm going to type in 9 feet like that. And I've got that. Okay, now over here, I'm going to go over this distance. And as I do this, this is actually 1'6". And I don't have to put in the dash. I just type in 1'6". I don't have to put in the dash. I don't have to put in the inches, just 1'6" and then over. So I go over here, and this is 1'6" and hit enter like that. So now I've got the eave. I've got this going here. Now this distance is just 6 inches. It's just 6 inches going up this way. How do I know that? Because I got 9'6" here and 9 feet here. 9 feet 6 inches minus 9 feet. The remaining is 6 inches. So this little fascia, this soffit right here, that's 6 inches. So we have 6 inches right there, and then we're going to go up here. So we go up here 6 inches. So you type in 6, and you don't even have to put in inches. And the reason why is when you're using an architectural template, if you don't put in feet, it's assumed it's inches. So I type in 6 and hit enter. Now we're good to go. Now at this point, I got to go in this direction. Now at this point, I've got the roof. Now the roof is going to be doing the same thing we talked about before. Remember, we got X and Y. Now it's equal. So that means if it's 10'6" on this side, it's 10'6" on this side. If it's 4'6" on this side, it's 4'6" on this side. So I'm going over from here and I'm going to the left. Is left positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative.
Negative. So I'm going to go over negative 10'6", and then I'm going up. Is up positive or negative?
Positive.
Okay.
So I'm going over negative 10'6", comma 4'6". I'll show how that works. So from here, I'm going to go like this. So negative 10'6". That's all you got to put. Negative 10'6", comma 4'6". And if your cursor does that, that's just some, AutoCAD's been doing that since 1989. Just don't worry about it, just what it does. So you put this in, don't let it put you off. Now watch what happens. I'm going to press the magic enter key. Watch this, okay? All right, and there's the point. Okay, so you put in the 2 coordinates, you hit your enter key, and AutoCAD finds it. So what it's doing is it's calculating an X value and a Y value, a horizontal value and a vertical value. That's what that did right there. Now that I did this, I'm at the peak of the roof. Then I go back this way. Now I'm still going to the left. Is left negative or positive?
Negative.
Negative. So I'll type in negative 10'6", comma, and I'm going down. Is down positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. So negative 4'6" and hit enter. Boom. All right, and then I just continue on my merry way. So I got this, and I go down 6, and then I go over 1'6", and then down here, and I can close it. Right click and choose close. And there we have it. And that's a beautiful thing. So that's how we're actually able to do that. So this right here is something you may need to go over by yourself to make sure you understand it. But here's the kicker. When you're measuring it, you want to verify that your dimensions come out as they should. So let's go to here. I'm going to go here and dimensions. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to use this linear. So click on linear, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this and then this. Let's see how it looks. I pull it down, And look at that, 4 feet, single quote. That tells us we got it. Now go ahead and do the others. And over here, I've got all these right in place right here. Okay, and then the next one is going to be 8 feet. It's going to be outside here. So I'll click here and then here. And I'll pull it over like that. All right, and then I will do these others, which are in here, which is going to be here to here. Okay, and then we'll continue on. Doing from here to here. All right, and I'll do that. And we'll go ahead and do this. Like that. And then we'll do this from here to here. Like that. And that's what it should look like. Okay. And if you need some work with this, I can help you if you guys need help with that. If you're new to feet and inches. I know it's a pretty crazy system. I really wish the United States would just kind of go metric, but no one listens to me. But anyway, that's how that works. And then I'll go over here and I'd go ahead and put these values in here. And by the way, when you put these dimensions in, I want to show you something here. When you put these dimensions in, I'm going to click the same points, but the direction I pull the cursor in will determine whether it goes vertical or horizontal. So if I go this way, it's going to be 10'6", but if I pull it over this way, I can force it to do the other. So I go this way, or I can go this way. Same 2 points, 2 different dimensions. All right. So that's how we go ahead and do that. So I'll go ahead and go like this. So AutoCAD will basically, you got to kind of, it's like walking a dog. You got to tell it where it's going to go. And so we have that. Anyone out there have a dog?
I
Have a
do.
horse, does that
Yeah.
count?
Horses count. Yeah, absolutely.
I do.
I got a bird.
Got a bird. Okay, birds are cool. What kind of bird do you got?
A parakeet.
Oh, do you really? Okay, you got a budgie. Okay, do you try to make the budgie speak, or is he just kind of cage dressing?
When he was young, or right now too, I tried teaching him like different tunes by whistling. So something like that. Or I'll play music around him.
All right. Very cool. What color?
He's gray with a yellow head with an orange spot on his cheek.
Okay, all right, very cool. My brother, he used to have parakeets, and we had the yellow and green ones, and then they all died. They all died pretty quickly. And then he got a blue one, a blue and white one, which was beautiful. And they all kind of died pretty quickly. Whatever, it's like our house was kind of not terribly peaceful growing up, so it's like I would have died too if I was them. But anyway,
he's pretty old. He's like 15 years old.
Oh, really? A parakeet? Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, you must be doing something right, because they're hard to keep alive. So at least that's been my experience. So anyway, that's good. That's cool. Yeah, but with a dog, when you walk a dog, you know what happens when you walk a dog is you're walking the dog and the dog tries to pull in a certain direction. Well, the dimensions in AutoCAD do the same thing. So when they're trying to pull, you pull them and you tell them where you want them to measure. And that's what you got to do there. So when you're all done, you would go up here and we go ahead and go to text. And we're going to go the text layer. We'll go to text and we're going to name this one like we have before. And this one's going to be what? Drawing F? Yeah, drawing F.
Professor.
Yeah.
Sorry. The dimensions, if I want to line them up more neatly, how did you drag them? If I just click on it, it doesn't move.
Okay. Here's what I say. First of all, are you a Lord of the Rings fan at all?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, here's the thing. I'll explain this to you in Lord of the Rings geek terms, okay? So it's like this, right? If it's like that, that's what it looks like. See what I'm saying? They're not lined up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's like the ring. It wants to be found, okay? So you click here, so you click on there and the grips show up. It wants to be found, okay? And so what you do is you click on this grip here, you just pull it up until it just snaps the other one.
Okay, thanks. I was pulling the number instead of the grip, so that was my problem. Thanks.
Yep. Okay, yeah. And the thing is, so as long as you click the thing, it's going to find it. So you're good to go there. Okay, so now that's another one in the can. So we'll go to save as, and that one's drawing F with our initials on there. Drawing Just like that. There we go. Okay, making good progress here. That looks good. Okay, so we're gonna push on a little bit deeper. You guys hold up okay? You need a little break? Or you guys okay?
Doing fine.
Doing all right?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Turn that down. When I'm doing the dimensions, I don't know if I hit something, but I'm not getting the feet with it. It's just a line.
Okay, did you use the template that I told you to use?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, a diagnostic question. When you look at the lower right corner here, does it say architectural?
Yep.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just the dimensions. It's weird. Maybe I hit something.
okay, all right. Well, no, that's actually a couple things. Okay, now, when you drew these, did you type in feet and inches?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so you typed in the foot symbol. Okay. Well, I am not sure. I am not sure why that would have been. You should be able to read them if you use. Now, just to be clear about this, I have two different templates. One was an architectural template and one was a standard template. You're sure you use the architectural template?
I can double check, but I'm almost positive.
If it says architectural down here, you use the right template, so you should be good to go. I'll tell you what, do you want to share your screen with me?
I don't.
Yeah, because I need
Sure.
to see it. I can't really discover that. So let me try this. Let me go up here, Logan, and that's Logan asking, right?
Say again?
Is that Logan asking?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make you co-host. And that's
Okay.
the way I know well, it's the fastest way to have you share it. So you should be getting requests there. I think, I don't know if I have to send you a request, maybe I do. Yeah, do you see a place where you could actually share your screen right now?
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and do that. And let's see what we got here.
Did it work?
I'm seeing your phone right now. You're sharing screen. And it says you're sharing your screen right now. So I'm seeing your phone. Are you doing this on a phone app?
Yeah, I'm doing it with my phone.
You're doing it on your phone. Okay.
So, I don't know. I've never screen shared before.
Okay.
On the side, we can see what he's showing you, but him sharing the screen isn't showing.
I'm seeing this right now. Let me see here. I don't know how to. Okay, let's see here. I'm seeing. Kind of seeing it. Okay, because I'm seeing over here. Okay, let's see here. See, are you guys seeing that? Okay, you guys seeing that big? Is that kind of small for you guys too? Okay.
We just
Still see his
the
phone. That's all we see.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say I see this going on.
Let me try this. Let me see if this doesn't work. All right, you're the host right now. Let's see if this doesn't work.
Jeez.
Because it should be making it larger. I'm not really sure why it's not. And typically, because I've done this before, hate to put you on the spot there, should be good though. You're sharing the screen. I get what you're doing there. I'm seeing that right now. Okay. Okay. You can't. Yeah, I can't. It's. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, so let me do this. Now I got to get it back. Okay. So now I got to get my screen back. Okay. Host disabled, participant screen sharing. Looks like you disabled me right there. So if you could be so kind as to go back in and if you could go into, if you could let me do that, because okay, host disabled. Okay, you're the host right now. So you're going to have to go and let me share it. If you could do that, you may have to go up through the
Okay.
make that work.
I was gonna make a little reference, but I'm not sure if anyone else knows He-Man, the old cartoon. Anyone?
So which one now?
Do you know the old cartoon He-Man?
I don't.
Oh, good show. You wouldn't get the reference then. Never mind. It was like a really old 80s cartoon.
All right.
What TV show?
Yes.
What cartoon was it?
He-Man.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know the reference I was gonna say? I have the power.
Yep.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back now. Okay, we'll figure this out now. Okay, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Logan. We'll get that ironed out later. But okay. All right. So this is inspiring all kinds of memories, you know. It's getting you know, it's productive when it brings back cartoon references. That's always a good thing. So yeah, the cartoons I watched when I was a kid, my gosh, you know, it's like everything was blowing up, you know, and everything was just like bad guys are getting shot and stuff, and that's what it all was when I was a kid. You know, that's how it was. And you had Bugs Bunny, you know, taking a cannonball in the face. You know, that's how that was back then. That's what we grew up with, and explains a lot of things, I suppose. But that's how that was. But anyway, okay. Now going here, next one. This one is drawing G. Now this one, I'm going to pull out the stops on this one. This one gets a little bit more. Goes a little more detail. This one's also an architectural plan. It's an architectural floor plan, and it's actually, I'm going to rotate this one so you guys can see a little better, because I think it's easier to understand what's going on here if I rotate it over this way. So, wrong way. I should have gone the other way. Okay, we'll rotate the view again. Okay, do it again. Okay, do it more time. That. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out here. This is what it looks like. Okay, so you got drawing G, and drawing G is at the bottom. And then you have this item like this. Okay, so we got that. And so what we're going to do right here is we're going to draw this. Now notice that the exterior walls, they actually, you got to pay attention to this right here. You have to pay attention to where the actual little, what are called the arrowheads or architectural ticks in this case, what they are actually showing. Okay, so if I were to go ahead and put this out, notice this right here, that this right here is going to the outside of the line. And this is going to the outside of the line. Those two dimensions start at the outside, and it's 15 feet 8. It includes the wall. Okay, so that being the case, you've got that. Now over here, this goes the inside of the wall. I played a dirty trick here. This goes the inside of the wall. I did that on purpose. And so it's 22 feet to the inside, which means if you include the actual thickness of the wall, that's an additional 4 inches, because the 4 inches is right here. So therefore, we have to add that in as we're going along here. Okay. So anyway, so I kind of did this just to kind of like, you know, throw you guys a bit of a curveball, just because, why not? And the thing is, the what's life without some challenges? And so we're going to go ahead and go through here. So I'm going to go ahead and start this one. So I'm going to do it the same way I did it before. This one requires a little bit more going on, but not a lot more. So I got this. I'm going to close that and save changes. Yes. So I'm going to start another one now. So I'll go to new again, go up here and go to new, and I'm going to go ahead and use my spotlight so you guys can see it. So go up to new, I click on new, and it's going to ask me what template you want to use. And I will say, well, I want to go ahead and use the same template I've been using. So I'll go out here to Thomas Brennan, and I will go ahead and scroll down until I find my downloads. And I will find my architectural template for drawings F and G. This is drawing G. So I'll go ahead and open this. Same thing applies now. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to draw this. And over here, you got to notice that this is 15 feet 8. So it goes 15 feet 8 from here to here. And then this is 22 feet. But the walls are all 4 inches. That means I got to add 8 inches. So it's 15 feet 8, and then 22 feet 8, and then 18 feet 8. I'll just do those three because I have to add 8 inches to each one because they works. And this is something that is actually important when you're working in any kind of whenever you're doing stuff in AutoCAD for architecture, this is how you got to work things. So I'm going to go to Polyline. I'm going to start it down here. So I'll click on here. And this first one's going to be 15 foot 8. So 15 foot 8, like that. And then I'm going to go up this way. So I go up this way, it's going to be 22 feet 8. 22 feet 8. And then I go over this way. And
does it matter if you're using polyline or line? Is there a would it make a difference? Or
in this one, it will. Your polyline is going to make a big difference for this one. So because what I want to do is I'll show you the magic in a second here. Watch what the polyline does. Behold the power. Okay. All right. What was the line? I kind of missed it, but anyway, there was a line that you had. I think it was Elijah had that, but anyway, some line about power. Anyway, the polyline here is going to show off pretty big time here. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go 18 feet 8 like this. And then we're going to go down here. And then this dimension is 14 feet 8. So 14 feet 8 down like this. And then we go over this direction. And taking a look on there, that's 3 feet. So go over 3 feet. And then I pull it on down. And so when I pull this on down here, I can right click and choose close. Now, before I commit to this, let me check my dimensions. So I'll click here. And as I hover my cursor here, it tells me that's 15 feet 8. That's 22 feet 8. So even though the dimension is 22 feet on my sheet, I had to add inches because I'm going to the outside. So that's actually correct. So if I were actually to go up here now, I could do the same thing. And I go ahead and hover my cursor here and it tells me this. And so I am good to go all the way around here. Everything's looking good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset this 4 inches. So I go up here and the offset command is here. So I'll click on offset and it asks me to specify a distance. I'm going to type in 4 for 4 inches because the walls are all 4 inches. Now watch this. This is the offset command. This is powerful. Watch what happens here. So let me go through this again. The offset command is right here. Offset command looks like this. I click on it. And what does it ask? It says specify the offset distance or. So I'm going to type in 4 for 4 inches. I don't have to type in anything but 4 because 4 inches is assumed. The only time I need to put in the foot symbol is if I'm doing feet. 4 inches is not a foot. So I just type in 4, hit enter. Then it says select the object to offset. I want to offset this. Now watch this. I click here and look at this. I can offset it in or out. I'm going to offset it in. Now, when I've done that, I just now have my other wall that easily. All right, so that's what the offset command lets you do. And you'll just have to watch this video again to see this. But now I'm going to put my linear dimensions down here to verify I got it. So we're here to here. I pull that down and that's 16. I missed it. That's why. I missed the snap. So over to here. And I'll pull over there. 15 feet 8. Beautiful. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dimension to the inside of this, which is what this drawing shows. Inside to inside, and this should be 22 feet if I pull it over, and it is. Beautiful. Then I'll do the top, same thing. I'm going to go inside to inside here to inside here. And I'll pull it up like that. Looks beautiful. And then this one over here should be 14 feet. So I'll go over here, down to here. I pull that over just like that. And then I need to put in a dimension here for this 3 foot. Okay, so go to here and then here. And as I pull this down, it wants to be found. So I'll go ahead and grab it like that. Okay, so I do that. Okay, so at this point, that's what I would do. And now the next thing I want to do is I want to place a door because there's a door on here. So where is the door and how do I make this work? Well, the door actually is located right over here. And the door is located 4 feet off from here and it's 3 feet. It's 3 feet. 3 feet wide. So I need to put a line here. So I need to put a line 4 feet away from from the inside corner. So 4 feet down like that. So that's what I'll do. So back to AutoCAD. I'll start drawing my line command. So I'll start by drawing a line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click here. I'm just drawing a line on top of the line. Oops, I'm going to use my object right here. And so I'm going to go ahead and click here, and I'm going to click here and go down 4 feet. So I'm going to type in 4 feet, enter. And then when I don't want to do that. Click here and go down 4 feet. And I'm going to go over like this, pull it over like that. So I do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 3 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat my line command. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go down 3 feet. And then I'm going to do the same thing like that. So once I've done that, I've actually used that. So now I've got all these things overlapping. So now I've got to clear it out. So to clear it out, I use the trim command. Okay. So the trim command is right up here. So I'll hit the click on the trim command. You start the trim command, you just go ahead and pull the cursor through there. And that's all you got to do to make the trim command work. So I've got that. Now let me go ahead and put a dimension on there to make sure I got that right. So I'll go to my dimensions, go to linear. I'll go ahead and measure from here to here, and we'll pull this over and do that. And that's looking real good. And we'll do one more right here. Make sure this is how it should be. And we'll do that. Okay, so now that's all looking good. So the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw my door. Now the door is right here. It's actually going to be 3 feet in this direction, and then it's going to have a circle. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw that. So to do this, I'm going to start by drawing my line from here, and I'm going to go at 3. Like that. So Actually, not 3, 36, actually, it's 36 inches. So I'll go line, I'll go to here, and I'll go 36 like that. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to connect these two. I want to connect these two, and I want it to be a perfect circle. So there's a few different methods I could use for this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this one. I think this one should work. So I'll try this. I'm going to try start, end, and angle. Start, end, or maybe start and radius work. Let me try start and radius. So start and radius. So let's start and radius. I'll go here, start point, end point, right there, and then the radius. Okay, so I pull it over here, and the radius is actually right over here. It's got to be 36. So I do start, end, and I'm going to tell it the radius. I'm going to type in the radius of 36. Okay, start and radius. Look, that was perfect. Okay, so start and radius works nicely. So once I've got that, I've got my door in place. Okay, so that's in good shape. And if I want to be sure it is, I go here and do that. And if I want to measure this, I can click on this and hover my cursor on this. Let's see here, let me get this one. Yeah, it's 3. That's a radius of 3 feet. So we're good to go there. And that's what it should look like. You don't want to put a flat one in there. You want to make sure it's an arc. I'll do that one more time. So to do this, you would go up here and you draw an arc. A few different ways to do it. I'm using start and radius. So my start end is here. Start end's here. And then it prompts you right now. Let me just go through this again because I'm kind of throwing a lot at you here. Start, end, and radius. So it says right here, what is my cursor saying to do right now?
Specify start point of arc or.
Yeah, very good. So here's my start point. I'm going to click here. And now what's it say?
Specify end point of arc.
Very good. So I click here. And once I click there, I need to give it the actual radius. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to type in 36 and enter. And there it is. And that's perfect right there. So if I click on this, and if I hover my cursor here, it tells me that is a 3-foot radius. That's exactly how you want it to be. So that is what you do this one. I know there's a bit going on here, and I showed you 2 new commands. I showed you offset and I showed you trim, and you will be using them for the rest of your CAD career because those are very useful commands.
Professor?
Yeah.
Can you show the trim command? Sorry, I was trying to do one of the other assignments and I kept clicking on and off and I missed that part. Would you just show that really quick?
Yeah. The trim command is actually very, very useful. So if I've got a line here, I'll just go ahead and put one right here at my midpoint. I'll just go ahead and go here like that. I'll go ahead and make a 3-foot wall. 36, door open right there. So I got this door open like that right there. Okay, so I've got that. Now what I'm going to do is the trim command's right here. So when I click on the trim command, it says, what do you want to trim? And I'm just going to go ahead and I can click on these items one at a time, like this, or I just drive a line through it. They both do the same thing. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's basically what you did for that doorway.
That's exactly what I did. Yep, exactly the same thing.
You blocked off certain points of the door so it won't delete the whole wall. It will just delete that portion. Okay.
Exactly. That's all you do. So you're just putting in a couple lines so you have something, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like, you're basically marking it so you can actually cut it off with a saw is what you're doing. And so that's what you do. And then you cut it off with the trim command. So yeah, that's it. And that completes that one. And we have one more to go. It's going to be a bit of this next one. I don't know, but we'll do this next one. So now we're here. I think we'll do one more. We will. You guys can do it. We got plenty of time. I'll do this. So now over here, I'm going to go ahead and name this one. This is drawing G. So I'll go ahead and say drawing G. Drawing G is there. And then at that point, I could move it. Now to move, by the way, we'll get into this in a second here, the move command. If I want to move something, I can just use this move command right here. Now, when I click on the move command, all these ending commands act the same way. So when I click on that, it says select your objects. I'll click on this. And once I click down, hit my enter key. And then it asks me to specify a base point. I'll click on it, and then I just move it. I can just go ahead and grab it and pull it where I want to. So I've got that. So that's the move command. We'll be getting to that in just a minute. And then we're going to go here and we're going to save this. So I'm going to save as, and we will name this one drawing G.
Professor, I have a question.
Yeah.
With the door radius, if the curve is going to the bottom, like not a swinging door, but like swinging down, if that makes sense. How do we flip that?
Are you saying, is that what you drew?
Like when I try to put in my arc, it's curving in a downward.
Okay, all right, well, okay, did you use the start and radius?
Yes.
Okay, all right, let's try this again. So we'll go here and just show us work. So we go start, and I used start and radius, didn't I? So start and radius, we'll do this again. So I'll go here, I'll click on this point here, and my endpoint's here. Now, when you do this, one thing you want to be sure of is you want to pull your cursor like over here. If you just kind of let it float around here, AutoCAD can get you confused. So pull it directly over to the right so it knows to do that. And then type in 36 and see if that doesn't help.
Yeah, I fixed it. I think I did move it down or something and it started
Yeah.
flipping the other way.
Actually, where you position your cursor when you're drawing stuff actually is quite, it does make a difference, believe it or not. It's kind of strange, but it is. Okay, now this last one. I know it's getting late, but we're going to do one more, okay? Because I want to make sure we are progressing, and I think we can do this. You guys are showing good promise. Your questions are good. Now, this next one has a bit more going on, but it's actually not hard to do. I'll show you how to do it. I've actually got this one down to a science. So this one right here is drawing H. And you may say to yourself, that's just too much. It's not. It's really not. Yeah, I'm going to show you all the commands you need. And this is, and I'm using this right now so to actually introduce some of the commands that you're going to need as you go along in AutoCAD. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to focus on this one, drawing H. Now, there's a bit going on here, but not that much. The dimensions aren't that hard. And I'm going to show you some tools to make this really easy. So first of all, let me ask you a question here. What is the overall length of this item?
9 by 5 feet.
9.5 inches. Yep. So that's 9.5 inches. Yep. So 9.50, and we're going to assume these are inches. Then over here, what's the height?
3.5
Yep.
feet.
So it's 9.5. These are inches. These are inches.
Sorry.
Yep. If there's no foot indicator, then these are all inches. So it's 9.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So the first thing I'm going to do is just draw with my line command that, and you got that. This is nothing new. You guys can do this. However, the one thing you got to be careful of is use the right template. So I go here, and guess what? What I said before is going to show up here. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to look for my Thomas Brennan. I'm going to go down here to my downloads, and I'm going to use the template that says basic drawing template A through E and H. Okay, H. So this one is going to be used here. This is for H. So I click on this, and I'm going to use this template. It's mechanical. So now what I said I'd do is I'd start, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line. The line is going to be like this. It's going to be 9.5. So type in 9.5. And then I'm going to go up here and make it 3.5. This is nothing new, you guys. This is nothing new at all.
Question.
Yeah.
Could you utilize the mirror tool on this and draw half of it and then just mirror it to another side?
You could do that. Yeah, we're actually going to use the mirror as we go through here.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to unpack some of the commands that are actually more robust here. Okay. So we're kind of going to be jumping ahead a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to do it right here. And then I'll kind of like backfill later, but we're going to do this right now. So I went ahead and did this. So what did I do? I made a bracket. I made this bracket right now. Now look what we have right here. Look at these circles. What is the diameter of these circles?
1 inch.
It's 1 inch. Okay, diameter is 1 inch. Okay, and I have the center point right here. So I have a center point here. I have a center point here. What is the distance that this circle is to be centered away from the left side?
3 1/4 inches.
3 1/4, and that's equal on both sides. So I'm going to offset this line over 3 1/4 and this line over 3 1/4. So I'm going to use my offset command. This is where the offset command is the star of the show. The offset command is, to me, my #1 go-to construction tool when I work with AutoCAD. And I'll watch how this works. So I'm going to use right up here the offset command. So I start the offset command, and I had figured out the distance. Who remembers that distance? What was it?
3 1/4.
Yeah, 3 1/4. So 3.25. Thank you. And then at this point, I'm going to click on. Now watch what happens. Select the object. So I click on here, and then it says, where do you want it? Okay, you got to grab it. Okay, go here. So I click on the object. Then I can actually pick here or here, here or here. I want to go over here. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna offset this one. So I click here and I go over there. So at that point, I have just put in some lines. So I got a line here and I got a line here. Now I have to give a line, I have to put a line in here to basically center the circles from the bottom. So what's that distance?
2.5, 2.25 inches.
Yep, so it's 2.25. So I'll do the same thing. I'll go to offset. So I click on offset, asks me for a distance, 2.25. Enter. And I'm going to go ahead and click on this line. And I pull that up. All right. Now at this point,
So,
yeah.
so when I click offset, it only lets me select corners. How are you selecting the line?
It just does. I'm not really sure. I don't know what you have on your screen, so I can't really, it shouldn't be doing that, but if you're hovering a cursor over a corner, then I don't really know what to say. But if you're right here, did you type in a distance at the first prompt?
Yeah.
You did? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, so you specify distance, hit your enter key, and at that point, it selects object offset. You're saying that you can't, you're
Okay, it's working now. I don't know why it was doing that. Sorry.
okay, won't worry about it. Okay, now now it's going to start to make sense here. So the size of these circles, there's 2 of these with a diameter of 1. Okay, 2 of these with a diameter of 1. So to draw a circle, I go up here to circle, and I choose center diameter. Center diameter. So I'll go here. So I'll click on center diameter. I'll go ahead and bring it here. Now, right here, you'll notice that it gives me the X for the intersection, and I'd said that the size was 1. All right, so I got that. Now repeat it. Circle, center diameter. I'll go over here and I'll drop it right here, and I'll type in 1. So I've got that. So now this is looking pretty swift. It's looking pretty good right now. Now, at this point, what I want to do is I want to create these rounded corners, and I want to clear out all this stuff that's inside of it. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is I want to use my trim command to trim out some of the extraneous stuff that I don't need. So the trim command is, again, you know, that's the real MVP, is the trim. So we'll go to the trim command right here. So we'll click on trim, and we'll go here, and you got that. Okay, so you just use trim. You drag. Now, let me do that again. So I can just click on the line. And when you do this, you get a little X there. And then I can go ahead and click on these individually, like I'm doing right here. So I'm going through here, and I'm just trimming these items out. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I'm going to leave the other stuff there. Now, at this point, I can just drag my cursor. If I click off the object, I can just drag it around here and make any kind of shape that I want to. So I've got that. Now, once I've done that, that was the trim command. Trim command cleaned it all up. Now, I have to make these corners rounded. And to make these corners rounded, I'm going to use the fillet command. The fillet actually takes right angles and allows you to round them out. So let me ask you this question. What is the radius of this rounded corner right here? What's the radius there?
0.5 inches.
Yeah, it's 0.5 inches, and it says it's typical. That means that's what it is for all 4 corners and these 2 interior parts right here. So it's going to be a total of 6 with a radius of 0.5. So I'm going to start the fillet command. Fillet command is right here on chamfer. So you got chamfer, you got fillet. I'm going to fillet right here. So I click on fillet, and then when I get into this right now, it says select the first object or. Now down here, it tells me what the radius is set to. The radius is already set to 0.5. So I'm actually okay here. So since it's already set to 0.5, I'm going to go ahead and I'm ready to go with it. And so if it wasn't set to 0.5, I'd have to change it. So if I type in R for radius, I could then type in 0.5, whatever my value would be. And then it asks me to select the first object. So the first object is this line. And then the second object is this line. And beautiful, look at that. Okay, so that's what it does. So I'm going to repeat the fillet. Now, since I've got 6 to do, I can use this multiple option here. And when I use the multiple option, I can actually go ahead and walk around here and just keep on using this tool like this. And then we go up here and do this too. Okay, so that's how that looks. So that is how we go ahead and do that. Now that was the fillet command. The fillet command, not fillet. It's actually fillet. It's a real architectural term. So you got to fill it right there. Okay, now moving on from there. Next we're going to do right here is we're then going to put in a circle because we need to finish off these circles. Now this is going to be showing you some interesting stuff here. So right here, you'll see that there's a circle right here. Over here, it tells me the size of the circle. It tells me, first of all, how many of these circles are there?
24.
24. And what's the diameter?
0.25
Yep.
or a quarter.
Yep, quarter inch. And I'm going to start at the corner of this. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this point right here. I'm going to make it 0.25. So this one's actually pretty easy. Okay. This one, when I constructed this, I knew it was kind of a complex shape, so I gave you a couple of shortcuts. And one of them here is I'm going to use circle, center, diameter. Now watch this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to touch this corner right here. When I do that, see that little plus sign show up? That's where the circle goes. So I click right on the plus sign, and I type in 0.25. Boom, beautiful thing. All right, now I've got the circle in place. Now at this point, I'm going to show you something that is absolutely stunningly powerful, which is where I'm going to create a pattern of copies. Okay, so rather than just copy this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I could do that. Like for instance, the copy command. I'll show you the copy command. It's right here. So I can click on the copy command, and I go ahead and click on this. I click on that, and once I click on it, it's selected. Now, when you want to use one of these commands, it's going to keep on saying select objects till you tell AutoCAD you're done selecting objects. So I'm done selecting objects. When you're done, you either hit you right click your mouse or hit the enter key, and then it asks you for a base point. Well, the base point, it's almost always going to be the center of a circle. So I click here, and now I want to go up. Now the distance between is 0.5, like that. So I do that, and then the distance going up here would be 1 going from there, and then 1.5, and I'm going to do this all the way up if I can. And then up here, I'm going to keep on going, and I'm going to go to 2. All right, and then I go up here, I'm going to say 2.5. Okay, and so I've got that, I've got those all together. So I was able to use the copy command. But that's a little bit too much like work, okay? So I don't want to do all that necessarily. So you could use the copy command, but I'm going to show you a shortcut here. The array command.
Yes, sir.
Actually,
Please, I missed the first part. You put the circle. I missed how can I put the distance?
okay, the circle just uses the object snap of the corner, so it doesn't need a distance. Okay, so to place the circle, you go to circle, and you circle center diameter like this, and then I would just touch this corner, and that plus sign shows up. That's where it goes. So I put my cursor right on top of that. I click, and then I type in 0.25. I'll do it again. So what you got right here is you want to place your circle. So go to circle, center diameter, and I'm going to touch it here. When I touch it here, this plus sign shows up. I click on top of the plus sign, and 0.25 is the diameter because this is the diameter right here, 0.25. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
So now I've got this here, and there's 24 of these. There's 12 on each side. Now, let me talk about this. First of all, columns are like Roman columns. They're vertical. How many columns do I have here?
2.
2,
2. How many rows do I have?
6.
6.
6. So it's 2 by 6. And over here, the distance between all of them is 0.5 typically, and 0.5 between them. So that makes it really easy to do. So to use this, I'm going to use the rectangular array. Now the rectangular array, what it does is it's going to give me a copy in a pattern of a rectangle. So I'm going to go to here, I'm going to rectangular, I'm going to click on the circle. So I click on that circle. Now, once I've clicked on that, I don't want to select any more objects. So I'm going to right click. And now it shows me this, and my ribbon changes right now. So the first thing we said, we want 2 columns. So I type in 2, and I want 6 rows. So I type in 6 rows. But it doesn't look right because my distances between them are off. So I'm going to go here and change it to 0.5. And I'm going to change this to 0.5. Boom, there it is. And that's how easy it is to make those. So it's like making a very complicated matrix of objects by just using a very simple command. Now, I've actually got this documented in many different places. So for this one, I'm not necessarily going to I'm not going to go over this again right now because I've got it in a lot of other places. And maybe you guys just work this one on your own, but I've got this one right here. Now, the last thing is the mirror command. The mirror command allows you to take this whole object and to mirror it over the other side, make a copy of it to the other side. So this is what you would do right here. You would use the mirror command. So you start the mirror command, and then all of these are actually connected. When you make an array, they actually identify as part of the same team. So I click on this, and once I've clicked on that, it still asks me to select objects. So when I'm done selecting objects, just like it was with any of the other commands, when I'm done selecting, I right-click my mouse or I hit my enter key. I do that. Now it asks for the mirror line. Now here's the thing. The mirror line, this is going to be where you would fold a sheet of paper if you were actually putting ink on one side or another. Where would you fold it? Or if you were making a cardboard cutout of a heart, where would you fold it to get half the heart? Okay, and that would be right here. This is your midpoint. We click here and watch this. We pull it straight down and we do that. And we click erase source objects. No, and there it is. That's the object right there. Then it just needs all the dimensions of which we spoke of earlier. So the dimensions are all the things that we talked about before, which is changing the layer here. Let me get this out of here. Changing the layer here to dimensions, and then we go ahead and put these on here. So we got the linear, and I'd go ahead and pick here and here, and I go ahead and pull that up, and then I'd go over here, there to there. Oh, I missed the snap. Let me see. Yep, see, I missed it. So I'll click on this and I'll drag it up to here. All right, and it's 3.5. Okay, so I've got that. And then I got the other items right here, here to here. And then I'd have this here. Like that. And so at this point, it's looking pretty good. And I've got most of the dimensions that I need. And then what I would do is I would begin to put in these others. Now down here, you have the ability to put a diameter and radii right here. So I'll just go ahead and say diameter because this one's got to be a diameter. So I'll click on this one here. I'll pull this one down. And I'll put this one right here. And we already learned how to put the notation in. We saw that earlier today. So for this one, I could type in here. And I could make that one say 24x. Like that. And over here, I would say 2 times x. So 2x space. You got that. And that's how we put that together. And then the other items are actually over here, where I go over here and go to linear, and I go ahead and start to place these here to here, like that. And I continue on with this here to here, and so forth. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Let's see here. That's 45.
Fillet radius.
What's that?
It looked like the fillet radius was the only one that was not there.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. So that's what we have right there. And so once we put those in place, that is where we go ahead and do this. And so this is what you would do. And so this is going to take a while. Now, I have prepared copious amounts of help for this exercise because it tends to be kind of like the, you know, it tends to be a real learning type of thing I've got here. So I call this drawing, what do I call this? Drawing H. Okay, drawing H. And we got that. So we got that. Okay, so let me show you something here. So this is how you do this. I'm going to save it as drawing H, save as drawing H, TMB. Okay, drawing H. Now, let me show you something here. Because I have taken, because this tends to be such a big part of what I typically use to teach, this tends to be a project that you learn a lot on. I actually prepared a lot of content here. So out here, just to show you something here, under my AutoCAD intro assignments right here, I've got a couple things here. I've got the bracket project, which is what this is, the printed tutorial. And what I did right here is I actually put together a step-by-step tutorial as far as how to do this, how to make this. All right, now in this particular case, I actually created a template for you so you guys don't have to make your layers. But other than that, you guys just go through this and it goes through the exact same steps that I just went through with you guys. You go through this, it tells you exactly step by step how to make this happen. and how to draw it, just like this, exactly what I just went through. And I did this myself, all right? I did it all by myself, okay? And so you got this here, and I showed you guys how to go ahead and make this, and I've got it all highlighted, show you exactly how to do it, and it explains what I just did there. And so this is something I find to be helpful, and when you're done, it looks like this, and that's how you put it together. So that is what you do, and then you document it. So first of all, that is one of the items that I provided for you, is the bracket project has a printed tutorial. I also have this right here. I've got the bracket video tutorial, which is out here. And this is also out here on my YouTube channel. I show how to do this again with great detail, and we go ahead and go through that. So we've got that going on. So this would be basically telling you how to do that, and exactly how to go through this whole thing. So it goes through step by step, exactly what I showed you. Okay, exactly what I showed you, step by step, how to make that happen. So you have that going on right there. Okay, and that is how you go ahead and put that together. So that is the name of that tune. Okay, so that is what is due for next week then. So for next week, what is due is going back to here, is going to be up at the top. I'm going to go ahead and go here. And you notice I made this orange. Why? Because it's fall, and the pumpkin spice lattes are out. And so you're going to go to what's due when. For next week, September 9 drawings, E, F, G, and H, you're going to submit those. So that's all I've got for you guys right now. So the remainder of the class, which is an hour plus, is lab time for you guys to work. And I will be here. At this point, I'm going to stop the video, and that's all I'm going to do for the teaching aspect.